Back in chapter 1, I was playing on controller on an Xbox One, and I was missing every single shot. I was building like a snail, and I was wondering if I would ever be good at the game. Now I'm winning fights I used to run from because I switched from controller to keyboard and mouse. And maybe you can do it too. If you're switching to keyboard and mouse or just struggling to improve, this video is for you. I'm going to break down the exact steps I took from my settings and practice routines, and also the mistakes you need to avoid. The first thing we're going to talk about is why I switched. I started off in controller and I was absolutely horrible. I always felt like I was being held back in builds and edits. I knew that keyboard and mouse had more potential, and I was right. But switching to keyboard and mouse was really painful. Day 1, I couldn't even crouch. I legit couldn't even build a 90 without messing up. Every time I was getting crapped on in the beginning while using a keyboard and mouse, it would always make me so mad. I would just pick up the controller just so I could crap on the person that was doo-dooing all over me. That never got me actually good at keyboard and mouse. So eventually I ended up throwing away my controller, and this was a nice controller too. It was like an Xbox Elite Series 2. So it was a lot of money, but throwing it away made it so I had to play on keyboard and mouse or I wasn't going to play at all, and it got me way better. The second thing I did was find the right settings. I'm talking about sensitivity and keybinds. I tried many different keybinds. I tried editing with Q, I tried editing with the E, I tried editing with the F, and eventually I found the edit bind that I really enjoy, which is right click. Not a lot of people use it, but I think that it's very optimal because I can edit while moving left and right without moving my pointer finger or my ring finger off of left or right. Super optimal in my opinion. It's super underrated. A lot of people bully me because I do that, but I really like it. And for my sensitivity, I basically just searched up a bunch of different pro sensitivities like Peterbot, Mr. Lust, and tried a bunch of them out until I found the one that works good for me. Right now I'm using 1600 DPI with a 3.6 X and Y and a 50% scoped sensitivity. I find that to be working really good for me right now. If your sensitivity is too fast or your keybinds aren't making sense, then you're setting yourself up to fail. You don't have to use the pro player's exact sensitivity or settings. Just tweak everything until it feels natural and don't be afraid to experiment. The next thing I did to improve on keyboard and mouse was my warm-up routine. Every day before I got into a battle royale or a reload game, I would spend 10 to 20 minutes free building, practicing doing different high ground retakes and tunneling. This would really help with my building on keyboard and mouse, and I really noticed that I could do stuff that I couldn't do on controller with a keyboard and mouse. One thing that really helps is going into a map where you can slow down to around 0.8% speed. Slowing it down really helps with crosshair placement, and then after doing it slowly, you can increase the speed, and what that does is it makes it so when you're playing at regular speed, it feels a lot slower and it's easier to build. And then after I would get into real games, and if I died, I would actually VOD review and think to myself, why did I actually die? It can't just be because he's a better player. I would actually think to myself, maybe it's because I didn't heal up, I didn't get enough loot first, I didn't have a good drop spot. It's so important to VOD review and think of why you died. Playing real games after warming up and actually applying it when fighting real people that are trying to win games really does help to actually apply the practice. I really wanted to get better at Fortnite, which is why I switched to keyboard and mouse, because I felt like I could become better than how I was on controller. And that's why in this section we're going to talk about the mindset. You can have the best mechanics in the game, the best aim, the best PC, the best keyboard, the best mouse, the best controller, but if your mindset sucks, you won't improve. I stopped chasing clips and I started to chase consistency, and I wanted to win more. I started playing to win, not to look cracked. That's when I really got better at Fortnite, and I started hitting Unreal every single season in the Battle Royale and in Reload every single season. Now I'm finally winning more games that I used to lose. My aim is cleaner, my builds make sense, my game sense is actually going somewhere, and I got here because I moved on, began a new life on keyboard and mouse, and threw away the controller. And maybe you should too. If you're switching to keyboard and mouse, don't expect to be cracked right away, but if you stick with it, you'll wake up one day and realize that you're actually cracked. Drop a like if this helped you, subscribe if you want to switch to keyboard and mouse, and comment KBM gang if you made it this far. I'm cheering for you. Now get back to that grind and switch to that keyboard.